My background is I have 20 years of IT experience with financial institutions across the country, with a focus on cybersecurity and compliance. So I share that to say I kind of have this background. If I had to say what my superpower is, it is bridging the gap between tech and the business world, right? And bringing those two into alignment. Of that is use AI automation where you can in repetitive processes so that you can free up time and resources for the high-touch people aspect, right? So all of us who have aging parents, we really want people taking care of them with a high-touch and people aspect, and not, charting and all those things that automation can step in and do. So I share that with you. I've also been an MBA instructor for business operations and innovative business models. So I really like bringing those worlds all together, and really what I want you guys to walk away with today is just sparks of ideas, curiosity, and a little bit of understanding of how to get started with AI in a business. Okay? That's how we're going to go. Now I know AI, right? Big, hairy, and scary, right? But trust me, it doesn't have to be. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to teach you some practical and easy steps to get started on AI so that you can start working smarter and not harder in your business. Okay, it's going to be a game changer. And on that note, it's for everyone, right? So when we think about how we've used it to date, because you all probably have used it to date, you use your GPS to get the fastest route, toll-free route, whatever it is you're looking for when you drive. You get a perfectly curated playlist in Spotify or Apple or wherever you're getting your music. Okay, so we are using it. We have used some version of AI for quite some time. But what really happened in the last 2 years, but really exploded last year, was the generative AI, right? That's the thing that has exploded in this last year. That's what you're hearing about. So when we say AI, when I say AI, I am talking about generative AI, okay? Like the business function you're trying to do, and then it'll be easier to match tools to it. So this will take out some of the overwhelm. So we'll talk a little bit about, okay, if you have a marketing function that you're not really good at, and you want to do a little bit more with that, then maybe that's the place you start with AI, right? You're going to start small with AI and break it down. I feel like I'm still, that's the building blocks. This is how we break it down into smaller chunks. What is your pain? Which business function is giving you that pain? Okay? We're going to narrow it down a little bit. There's going to be an exercise on this, so get yourself ready. Because, right, this is old. This doesn't even begin to cover the amount of tools that are out there, right? How do you even start into this game? So, business functions, right? Those look at your AI tools. Don't be afraid to ask it. Just ask it. Just ask it. If it can't do it, it'll tell you that it can't do it. But when we get into the training, you'll see how to ask better questions of it to be more efficient with your time. Okay, yeah.
So it sounds like a very advanced Google.
Yeah.
Just that, I mean.
So Google, right? So Google searches, right?
Right.
It just goes out and searches and brings you back things, right? This is actually going out searching, right? Large language models, bringing it back and then applying its intelligence to it. So I could say, we'll get into some examples when we're done, but it's the next level. Think super intelligence. Can I use that word on top of basic queries?
I'm curious, the last time that I tried to use it as kind of a super Google, I was using the free ChatGPT,
Yeah.
and this might have been a few months back now, so possibly it's come a little ways. But I was looking for print shops that could do a specific type of job in my area.
And you know what?
And it gave me
All kinds of
a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
Well, the free
It was
one
not
actually.
made up stories.
Yeah.
I feel like I have been using it cautiously in that respect.
Right, and that's why it's
trusting its facts, because it
Yeah.
likes to make things up. It's
Valley or
really
anything,
good.
I do like to give it a name. And I can say ChatGPT, I don't have to type that, but I can say, what things do you need to know about my business to be an executive assistant? What do you need to know to be a marketing assistant? Now notice how I'm using the word assistant because I don't want it to be an expert. I'm just asking it to be an assistant. It may come back and say, okay, I need to know about your business. Now, one of the things you could do, and I've done this, I will say, what 20 questions what 20 questions do you have about me and my business? Here is my website, here is my LinkedIn profile, because I want it to go do some of the work for me, I don't want to do it. And then it'll come back, and then it becomes, see how it's more specific now, rather than me just saying, what 20 things do you need to know about my business to be a successful executive assistant? Now I'm saying, what 20 things do you need to know about my business to be an executive assistant for intentional results? And I probably wouldn't even have to give it my LinkedIn or my website, it would just go find it for me. Okay? So you've got to do a shift on thinking about it, right? You don't have to have all the answers. Remember, it has access to more than you do. Ask it questions, ask it what it needs from you to do what you're asking. It's kind of like a new employee that we'll get into.
It feels like a more serious Jeopardy. What is?
Yeah, except for I'm going to engage with it. What's going to happen is you're going to see you creating a dialogue back and forth with it, and that's what starts to make it different from just a Google search, right? So I'll do things like, let me just come through this, because I don't want to run out of time first. But so here's some ideas on questions that it might say, give me information on the marketing. If you have it, give it to me. If you don't, it will create it. Try to create it. But why wouldn't you give it everything you have already? Think of it as like your second brain. Give it what you have. Now, there's going to be a caveat here about give it what you have around privacy, data, right? We'll get to that. Don't give it everything. Right? So we'll get you a little bit into that too. All right. So just think of it this simple to get started. 3 Ps. When we're talking to ChatGPT specifically, let's look at 3 Ps. Right? And think of it as a new employee. So if you had a new employee, right? Because that's what we're training it now for us. You would need to tell it about your business. You would need to tell it about its job, what you're wanting from it, whether that's a finance side, marketing, executive assistant, the expectations. What else would we tell a new employee? Right? Rules, regulations, tone, what not to do. That's perfect. Why not tell it what not to do while you're at it? And get going with that. Like I like a little more casual tone in mine, so I tend to tell it. I don't know. Be more casual, be simpler, less wordy, right? If at all possible. So you're going to prime it. Think of it as priming it, setting it up for success. Okay, so priming, 3 Ps, prime. Now we're going to prompt, right? How do we query it, right? How to ask it questions. So how do I ask questions? How do I query it? Those of you who do tech or anything anyway, you know what a query is, right? It's asking it for results. I want this, 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 and this. The more information you give it, the better the output will be from questions. Okay, so I've trained my new employee, primed it. I have asked it to do things for me, right? Prompts, questions. Now, like any good manager, I am reviewing what it brings back. You must inspect what you expect. It's no different than the business world. These are not new ideas. These are business concepts, right? You're just applying them now to ChatGPT or AI, okay? So it comes back. It might be some hallucinating or lying. It doesn't know, right? At least not yet. At least not yet. We like to think it doesn't know necessarily when it makes a mistake and that it's purposeful. So review it. Like I almost always end up reviewing it and don't like some of the wording or I want it rearranged or again, make it more casual. Sometimes I'll say, could you make that a little funny? Right? Its sense of humor is not always the best, but it's kind of like, but that's a little more playful, right? You have a little more playfulness with that, right? Maybe it's too long. Maybe I want to combine these 3 documents in here, take these 3 documents, summarize it into a 3-paragraph executive summary for this client, right? And let it do that. Okay? So you've got to inspect it. And if you're a business and you're putting stuff out there on your website, you're doing automatic emails back to your client, you still gotta read that and make sure it's right. Yeah,
So for those 3 documents, you upload those 3 documents into your
ChatGPT. Yeah,
So
yeah, you
think
can
with
upload into the
emails,
paid
like,
version.
if it's responding to emails for you, you upload the emails or you just,
So we'll get into some of the
Okay.
detail around that, because what I want to do is see how everybody is using it, in real life as well, because I truly believe you're gonna learn as much from one another and how you're using it, and sometimes that almost is more meaningful than me telling you how to do it, right? If you understand the people you're collaborating with, and because then when we step out of the session, you have other people you can contact as well, to do some AI risk. So that's polishing. What are my 3 Ps? Who can remember? Nice job. Prime, prompt, and polish. That's awesome. Okay.
Dan,
Yeah.
when you get a response from ChatGPT that you don't love, and you're like, I want to make it more funny, I want to whatever, some of the concepts you were just giving examples for, do you then kind of give it like words of affirmation, or do you to be like, hey, this is exactly what I wanted,
Well, okay.
or do
That's
you like edit it and then put it back in and say, this is how I edited it, so that it can learn what you actually want?
Yeah, no, that's great. You could do it both ways.
Okay.
They always have the little up and down thumb, right, at the end of it, whatever it gives you.